Hello, welcome to Pluribus Unum's Fireside Chats. Not as good as FDR's, but hey, it's something. So, we're getting into as you can see, it's the 27th of October, which means that we are this close to the election. A week and a couple of days. And as you can see, Monday is the one, like the Monday before that is the day before the election. So I'm debating on whether or not I do something there, or if I attempt to do another live stream on this. I believe that I might hold off the podcast till Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, just so I could get some of the, just so I can get some of the stuff like on the roll. But you know, that's up to you if you guys want that. But if you don't, oh well. And the second thing is, due to university and stuff, I may push videos to be bi-weekly now. Like main series videos might be bi-weekly now. So that's a possibility. Unless I get shorter videos like the elecciones presidenciales en la historia mexicana, those could potentially be shorter, at least until we get into the elections with more meat to the substance. I mean, this one I still haven't finished writing the script, but that's a thing. And with that, I guess we'll move on to the story. United Kingdom reportedly will not extradite Julian Assange. The United Kingdom told Ecuador in August that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange would not be extradited if he left the country's London embassy, where he lived under asylum since 2012. Ecuador's top government attorney said that on Thursday. In a written response to the queries from Ecuador, the UK explained that it had not received any extradition request, and that Assange's jail time from the UK for violating bail terms by seeking refuge in the embassy would not exceed 6 months. Inigo Salvador represents the Ecuadorian government in the court proceedings, told reporters. Salvador said that Ecuador passed on the UK's response to Assange's lawyers, but noted if Assange stayed in the embassy, Ecuador would put new conditions on his stay. Mr. Assange had a choice between turning himself into British authorities with those assurances or staying in the embassy with Ecuador, but given the asylum has lasted 6 years with no signs of immediate resolutions, we're going to place certain rules, Salvador said at a news conference. Now, this overall is a good thing, I guess. I mean, not entirely sure. I was checking to make sure, like, does this mean that Assange will be free? Because I don't think that's the case. Assange ain't free yet, my friends. We gotta keep fighting until he is. But, you know, one day Assange will be free, my friends. One day this beautiful man will be set free. But, you know, it might not be anytime soon. Then again, Snowden won't be free anytime soon. And many people still attribute the Chelsea Manning being set free because of the fact that she's transgender. So, anyways, now on to the next story. Sandra Day O'Connor didn't want to believe dementia diagnosis at first, Sun says. When Sandra Day O'Connor first learned of her dementia diagnosis, she didn't want to believe it, her youngest son Jay told CBS this morning. O'Connor, the first female justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, retired in 2006 to care for her husband after his Alzheimer's diagnosis. On Tuesday, she announced that she, too, has dementia and will no longer be able to practice in the public life. Her whole life, she has overcome many obstacles that I think she thought I could just have the power through this, and it turns out you can't really power through dementia and Alzheimer's, Jay O'Connor said on Thursday. I don't particularly know much about the Sandra Day O'Connor, because, you know, she was a little past my time. There are certain politicians and public figures that they just happen to fly over my head because they skip my radar. But anyways, I mean, from the only thing I know about her is what I learned in my American government class, where my teacher explained like how Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed by Ronald Reagan, and he expected like a super conservative justice, and then she's like, surprise, not so much. And he was like, and Reagan was like, man. I imagine that's what Reagan pretty much did all the time. The next story. Suspected MAGA bomber identified as Native American Trump supporter Cesar Sayok. A man arrested on suspicion of being the MAGA bomber has been named as Native American Trump supporter Cesar Sayok, 56. Sayok of Fort Lauderdale was arrested in Platinion on a suburb for sending 12 pipe bombs to top Democrat and high-profile figures critical of Donald Trump. As far as I know, the bombs were sent to, like, you know, Hillary Clinton, Cory Booker, you know, that kind of, like, those kinds of stuff. And these are, like, you see, it says here, like, there's Cory Booker. They sent them to, like, Cory Booker, Obama, Clinton. I don't think he sent any to Donald Trump. Or not Donald Trump, I was thinking of Bernie Sanders. I don't think he sent any to Bernie Sanders in particular. But the thing is, he was caught with his van. Like, his van, there are pictures of it over here. Here's, like, a close-up picture of it. It shows stuff like Pence and Trump and, like, yay, woohoo, and stuff like CNN sucks, Hillary Clinton with a target, and Michael Moore with a target, Obama with a target. But the one that I think nobody seems to be paying attention enough about is it has Jill Stein on it. Like, this guy may stink, but I mean, hey, at least it proves that the Green Party and Republican Party, they aren't, you know, like, teaming up to fight the Democrats. They're not like secret buddies. But well, people they seem to overlook Jill Stein in this. It's like, oh, his van has Michael Moore on it and Hillary Clinton on it. And it's like, wait, but Jill Stein's also on it, so shouldn't we be concerned about Jill Stein's safety? They're like, nah. The Green Party has, however, been like, yo, we should probably keep an eye on Jill Stein just in case something bad happens or if she gets something in the mail. To which I say, yeah, keep an eye on her. Now, another not-so-good story. I'm going in. Synagogue shooting suspect, 46, posts a chilling final message before the Trump-hating anti-Semite opened fire with an AR-15 on a baby-naming ceremony, yelling, "All Jews must die," killing 11 and injuring 6, including 4 cops. What a lovely day for the news. Okay, so suspect Robert Bowers, 46, allegedly opened fire on Tree of Life Congregation Synagogue at around 10 a.m. on Saturday. I mean, I don't think alleged really qualifies for this scenario. I mean, as far as you can tell, it shows police caught him red-handed. Suspect killed 4 congregants in the main level who have gathered to observe the Sabbath, then went downstairs. In the basement, a second congregation had gathered. He shot them, then fled to the 3rd floor. There, Bowers exchanged gunfire with police and injured 2 police officers and 2 SWAT team members. He was eventually injured and surrendered to police by crawling to them before being taken to the hospital. Bowers posted on social network Gab? What the heck is Gab? I didn't actually check that part. What the heck is Gab? What the? This is the fucking white supremacist Twitter? It's fucking white supremacist Twitter. This actually exists? What the fuck? There's a white supremacist Twitter? Can't believe that. What? Gab has been described as a platform for white supremacy. Of course, it's got a fucking picture of Pepe the. It's got a picture of the frog, Pepe the Frog on the thing. Like, what the fuck? I thought he posted this to like normal Twitter, but no. He fucking posted this on white supremacist Twitter? This exists? Huh. Like, this legitimately... I'm just kind of baffled that this legit exists. There's white supremacist Twitter. What happened? You saw that? I was just going on it normally again. But it just didn't work that time. Oh, it had Patrick Little on there. I saw Patrick Little. If they didn't remove 2 anti-Semitic... Patrick Little has his own Wikipedia page? No, he's still here for the Senate race in California. But Patrick Little, he's fun fact, Patrick Little is actually running for president in 2020. Yeah, he is. He's running for the Democratic Party's nomination for 2020. Don't believe me? Yeah, like for real. But yeah, this is a thing. Like, what the child pornography? Oh, the only expressions on the site are threats of violence, promoting terrorism, child pornography, revenge porn, and doxing. Threats of violence. I don't think it stopped this guy. I'm laughing. I know I'm laughing, and you might think like, man, this guy's heartless because he's laughing at like I just found out that there's a freaking white supremacist Twitter. Like, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, white supremacists literally they don't give up. I mean, you have to give white supremacists one thing: they're a persistent bunch. But anyways, now moving on to these kind of funner things. The Tax Revolt Party. It's the political party of the day. It's a minor political party in Nassau County, New York City. Founded in 2009. It was unnamed. It was unrelated to the Taxpayers Party of New York, which is a different party. This is a specific one. It's still on. It's got the ideology of conservatism and it's right wing. It's much like every political party in New York. It was formed to just be another ballot line for another candidate. Because literally, New York's electoral fusion is the one thing that literally keeps every political party afloat. It's the only, place in New York that's got like, it's the only place in the entirety of the country that allows like huge amounts of voting. It allows multiple political parties to stay around because of their ballot lines. You see, its primary agenda is to reduce out-of-control taxes in Nassau County. Did they endorse anybody for like governor or something? It endorsed a couple of congressional candidates, but it doesn't seem to have endorsed many Senate ones. It ran one guy in the Senate race. It ran the Bruce Blankman for their governor, for their senatorial line, getting 4,516 votes, getting like dead last, because that's how it usually works in New York. These two, like I've stated this before and I'll say it again, working families, they always endorse Democrat. Independence endorses whoever's gonna win. Conservative endorses the Republicans. And Greens are the one of like, I guess like the only ballot qualified party that's strong enough to actually run its own candidates. But I think it's a bit early to be moving on to this one. Ooh, how many days? I can only do that twice, but so never mind. So we're gonna move on to the next thing. The discussion of this video is gonna be the Brazilian presidential election 2018. I didn't endorse any candidates because I didn't care. I only endorse candidates in places I care about, to be frank. The only countries that I cared enough about to endorse candidates for were a lot of people in the US, Canada, Israel, Japan, and UK and Mexico. Like my background? So Brazil, I kind of skipped off on Brazil, but I did have like technically leanings, and I'll get to that in a second. So let me explain how Brazil's presidential elections work. They run like, here's how it works. They actually go by a 2-round system. But actually, no, hold on. Before we get to that, we're gonna go with something interesting. First, what happened? This was the incumbent president, Dilma Rousseff. She was a candidate. She was a member of the Workers' Party, which is like the biggest political party in Brazil. But due to the fact that there was like this huge political scandal that indicted many people in the Workers' Party, she was impeached. Like, she was like impeached because she was caught for breaking budgetary laws And as such, Vice President Michel Temer, he's of the, no, he's not of the, I guess it's, how did this work? He's of a centrist party, not of the Workers' Party. But like the Workers' Party, it's like very popular. They managed to drop poverty by, I think, how did they drop? I didn't get the exact number. I remember watching this on John Oliver, which he's right on some things, but wrong on a lot of things. He's like Bill Maher or the Young Turks. Boy, when they're right, but when they're wrong, they are wrong. So the Workers' Party, or Partido de Trabajadores, they're like popular. People love them. So much so, like, but their love kind of went down the hill after this whole Brazilian Watergate, if you know what I mean, happened. Temer, I don't think he said that he wasn't gonna run for the nomination for president. So I think he's pretty much doing what a lot of Mexican presidents do. He's pretty much like, hey, I don't want to start any controversy. I'm just going to keep the seat warm. I guess he refused to step down. Okay. So, Brazil had a lot of presidential candidates because Brazil actually works under a multi-party system. Parties ranging from like, this is like the Communist Party versus like the average right-wing or centrist parties or far rights, or pretty much here were the only major candidates that people cared about. Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva of the Workers' Party, Ciro Gomes of the Democratic Labour Party, and Jair Bolsonaro of the Social Liberal Party. Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva, he's the, well, I use this to describe a lot of politicians, but it's pretty much the big thing. He is the Brazilian Bernie Sanders. Like, people love him. They loved him so much. When he ran for president, he was the polls were like really high in his favor. Lula had like 30, like Lula was ahead of challengers, like a lot. People loved him. People were like super in love with the idea of Lula being president. But here was the catch. Notice this? Notice the sash he's wearing? He's already been president. And the rules for it were this. Brazil has a clean record law. The clean record law pretty much makes it so that a candidate that has left office cannot run for public office for 8 years. So as you can see, it hasn't been 8 years yet. So in response, they fucking threw Da Silva in jail. And as such, he was replaced by Fernando Haddad, the 51st mayor of Sao Paulo. He was actually Lula's running mate originally, but they pretty much just moved him to the head of the ticket because Lula's like, hey, you're pretty much like me, so come on. So Fernando Haddad kind of just continued on with normal. Now, personally, out of these three candidates, I think the one that I agreed with the most is Ciro Gomes, because this party is, it's like a social democratic, labor, populist, left-wing, center-left party, whereas the Workers' Party is like, just truest blue democratic socialist, and it's got some like Marxist roots, and I'm like, I'm not a Marxist. Don't catch me being Marxist. But the thing about all of these candidates were running, and as you can tell, with this kind of ideas, there just has to be, eventually, this is what happened. These were the results. All the dark red is Fernando Haddad. The blue is Jair Bolsonaro. And the light red is Ciro Gomez. So as you can tell, the one that I technically agreed with the most fucking lost. You probably guessed that already because you either watched the news or you were paying attention to this. Now, I've been talking about the left-wing candidates a whole lot. What about Jair Bolsonaro? Who's he? What's his political positions? So let's check the Social Liberal Party. Its ideology is Brazilian nationalism, social conservatism, national conservatism, economic liberalism, right-wing populism, anti-communism. The minority of the party is monarchist and monarchist, formerly socially liberal and classical liberal, formerly center to center right, currently right wing to far right. But I mean, come on, it's not like Bolsonaro is a dick or any. Throughout his political career, Bolsonaro has made a number of admiring comments about the Brazilian military dictatorship which ruled the country from 1964 to 1985. He said in 1993, 8 years after the return of democracy, that the military regime led to a more sustainable and prosperous Brazil. So, we have a democratic socialist versus a neo-fascist, pretty much. But maybe Bolsonaro, maybe he's not that bad. Let's check his views on women. In an interview in Zeora in 2015, Bolsonaro argued that men and women should not receive the same salaries because women get pregnant, adding that he believes federal law mandating paid maternity leave harms work productivity. In his defense, Bolsonaro denies saying that women should receive less than men, claiming it was a statistical data by IBGE. In a public speech in April 2017, Bolsonaro said that he had 5 children. The first 4 were male, and that for the fifth he produced a daughter out of a moment of weakness. Hold on. Bolsonaro provoked controversy for a series of remarks made to and about federal deputy and former human rights minister Maria de Rosario. During a congressional debate, Bolsonaro said that minors should be treated as adults if they commit heinous crimes such as murder or rape, to which Maria de Rosario responded to him calling him a rapist. I guess that's how it led into the famous one where he said Bolsonaro stated that the Congresswoman do Rosario was, quote, not worth raping. She is very ugly. Apparently he was like I remember watching this on John Oliver. He was like screaming at her he was like, I would never rape you. You're not worth it. Oh, I would rape. Oh, would you rape me? Because I'd hit you. And he was responding like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, bitch, do it. The LGBT Relay magazine, The Advocate, has called Bolsonaro Brazil's biggest homophobe. In June 2011, in an interview with Playboy, Bolsonaro said that I would be incapable of loving a gay son. Oof. In a video interview with Vice with actress Ellen Page, Page asked Bolsonaro if he thinks that she should have been beaten as a child. In response to his public statements that gay children should be beaten, Bolsonaro replied to Page, "You are very nice. If I were a cadet in the military academy and saw you on the street, I would whistle at you. Alright? You're very pretty." Bolsonaro added, "Over time, due to liberal habits, drugs, with women also working, the number of homosexuals has really increased." Ay. Bolsonaro is the... Huh? Apparently, he was also, in a documentary by Stephen Fry, where he said, "No father is ever proud of having a gay son, and that we Brazilians do not like homosexuals." He also doesn't like birth control for the poor. What the? I didn't even read that entirely. What? Bolsonaro also provoked considerable controversy for public remarks made in 2008 where he appeared to advocate for the sterilization of poor people. What? Bolsonaro married his third wife and has 5 children. His first wife was Rogéria Bolsonaro, with whom he has 3 sons, Flavio, Carlos, and Eduardo. He hired his wife. He also... Wait, he had to... Oh, wait, they had to fire her because of nepotism. Because he was like... Because, you know, nepotism is not allowed. So, yeah, pretty much now, as worst case scenario as it is, we are legit at the final 2. No, hold on. I wanted to do some math, even though I'm poor at it. Like, we're down to the legit final 2. There's Fernando Haddad, the Democratic Socialist, versus far-right fascist guy, Jair Bolsonaro. A lot of people seem to like him, though. Including a guy who was, ran as a Wolverine. He was stabbed, though. Like, he was legitimately stabbed, though. I don't advocate for this, either. Like, I mean, Bolsonaro's a dick, but come on. Dicks have the rights to express their views, too. Hold on. This one's gonna be a long one, because I'm actually going to... Hold on, I think I should get rid of all these. I guess technically I should make it clear. If you're a Brazilian and you're watching this, vote for Fernando Haddad. Because my views align more with Fernando Haddad because of the fact that he's a literal democratic socialist. Dang it. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna try and figure out. It's not what I wanted. I'm actually going to check all of the political parties and figure out who votes for who in the next round. Come to find out when I get to the bottom that I'm gonna need all of them. Okay, so here are all the parties. Wait, hold on. I guess maybe I should try down here. I guess I'll try these. I guess I'll just use these ones. Wait, hold on. I messed up. I was reading the party of their running mate. Because apparently they have different running mates. Whoops. Okay, so I guess technically I'll divide them into groups. Okay. Should have probably done all this beforehand. I don't know why I gave them like too much room. Fuck. Okay, so pretty much I'm just going to be checking their ideologies to see how much of a match they are. Okay, so right wing to far right for Social Liberal Party, and of course center left to left wing for this party. So the Brazilian Social Democratic Party, believe it or not, it actually has a minor faction of social democracy, despite the fact that its name actually would suggest otherwise. Now, if I was remembering correctly, a lot of Social Democratic Party members of Brazil were endorsing Bolsonaro. Hold on. Because I think, like, the parties have been endorsing, like, just went back to the page that I was at. But oh well. Froze. Well, I mean, it's loading, I guess, technically. Fuck. Okay, so... No, that wasn't what I wanted to get. The guy looks like a freaking mugshot. Wow, David Duke endorsed him? Wait, what? No way. The Wall Street Journal editorial board endorsed Bolsonaro? Global progress. You probably didn't see it, but it was a flasher. You miss it. Steve Bannon advised his campaign. Why am I not shocked? So yeah, the Brazilian Social Democratic Party, I checked, a lot of their people have actually endorsed his campaign. So I'm sadly gonna have to say that one person in the Bolsonaro camp will be this party. So I'm actually going to check thoroughly for Bolsonaro first before I continue on with them. Next, you know what? I think I might need Haddad's results for the moment, so I can check who endorsed him. Not that many, actually. Because I'm going to check whose voters might actually turn out for another candidate. Okay, the new party. It's got a platform of classic liberalism and economic liberalism. As we know, it actually overlaps with the old ideology of Bolsonaro's camp. And it's placed center-right to right-wing, which is, you know, kind of overlaps with this one. So I think the new party, or Novo, might actually also go to Bolsonaro. The Patriota Party. It's an environment. It's. I don't even have to guess. I literally just looked far right anti-secularism, right-wing populism. Yeah, this is also going to be a snag Ford Bolsonaro. Now, the Brazilian Democratic Movement, it's placed in the center and I haven't seen. Okay, when I'm done with the party, I should probably delete it. Okay, so no more you, no more you, no more you. I'll have to pass on this and get back to it later. Sustainability Network. I think this one might be in his category. Wait, I don't think I pulled up Gomez's party. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this back to the results so I can check out the numbers later. Democratic Labor Party and the Sustainability Network, I think, are going to be put in. Workers' Party candidate, but I'm going strictly for Bolsonaro first. Checking parties to see if they overlap with Bolsonaro's views. Podemos. It has historically been a laborist or left-wing nationalist party. And it's currently placed in the center. Do they hold more hatred towards? How many of their candidates have been trying to get Bolsonaro's show together? Oh, I'm over here now by accident. Whoops. Free Fatherland Party. I think this one might be another one that's Bolsonaro. I think this one's gonna be also a Bolsonaro candidates. This one's gonna be also a Bolsonaro party. No, not that one. Christian Democracy. Because I think due to its, it's it's right-wing Christianity views. Socialism and Liberty Party, no, are those all Podemos? I was getting into Podemos. I'm not entirely sure that this. Hold on. PR. I mean, considering this party, I think the rest of these parties are actually more in line to go with Haddad. So yeah, I think hold on. REDE. Yeah. So I got more proof because the RED candidate was actually also endorsed him. Also endorsed Haddad. Okay, so and also their own parties, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. I will be counting over all of their ones. This is just for me to remember. Now you may be thinking this is a really boring episode. Well, that's because I don't have much time to edit these. This is the one that I side with, actually puts me on the most. Socialism and Liberty Party. So, maybe I am a socialist and I just don't want to admit it. Especially considering Haddad actually got an endorsement from the Communist Party of Brazil. His running mate's actually of the Communist Party of Brazil. I forgot to mention that. So as we can see, this puts more party in Haddad's belt. But does that mean it puts more votes in Haddad's belt? We'll be the judge of that. First, we're going to add Haddad's votes. Can I copy and paste it into this calculator? Or do I have to do Google Calculator? No, I can do it. Plus Reedy. And as you can see, all these votes are kind of like split together. Pody. It skipped MDB. PTSU. PPL. So as far as I can tell, Fernando Haddad is going to get this many votes. So now let's count Bolsonaro's votes. Wait, did I not check pen? Oh, Patry. Let's see. 32P. I don't think I did that one. And it looks like Bolsonaro is going to get this many votes. So even though more parties are in line with Haddad, technically, if you want to make an accurate prediction, I would say Bolsonaro's gonna win. I mean, look how much percentage of the vote he got in first round. Hold on. Look at how many states look at how much he won in the first round. If he got to if he was so close that people were actually considering that there wouldn't be a second round. So as sad as it might be, Bolsonaro's gonna win, but I think Haddad should win. So Haddad, I'm rooting for you. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested for more content from me, you can go to my website or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Quora. And if you want to, you can leave questions below if you want me to do a Q&A at one point. You know, because I always beg for a Q&A and nobody does it. What the F, bro?